Week 4 overview video. Here we go. 2 things this week. We're taking precision exams and we're completing the Recipe for Success blog post at our edublogs.org blog. Yes. Our intention this week is intention. Huh? Yes, we will talk about that. Intention is what great artists do. They have an intention and they work toward it. And we're going to focus on that this week. And let's go in here. First, we have the overview video. There it is. Yay. Precision exam guidelines. I'm going to go over this first. You want to make sure that you created your account at Precision Exams. Do this before the exam. And I have the instructions. This document was revised to make more sense. But essentially, you go into registration, you click register, you fill out the information. The second page, you fill out the top area, and I recommend putting your school district email address in there and then click finish. You do that, and you're ready for the exam. You want to test your connection, so you click here to monitor EDU. You'll see this screen. Click test your results, and then check your camera. Your camera will show up, and you can make sure that the camera is actually working. You want to do that on the computer and in the room that you're going to be in when you take the test to make sure the connection works well. The actual day of the exam, this is what it looks like. You're going to click this link. You're going to choose Washington. That's Washington. And then you're going to be filling out this form here. You're going to put your name, Washington, Olympia for school district. Student ID is your student ID. It usually starts with a 9, and it should be 7 digits. I have that if you don't. It is in Schoology. Well, it's in Skyward for sure. The teacher name is me, Scott LeDuc, and then you put the test title. That will be in Schoology. It will also be in the chat in Zoom. Same thing with the exam code. Each class period has a different exam code as well. So you fill this in and you click Start Chat, and then you get this window, which in the bottom left-hand corner, you can then communicate with the proctor. The proctor will guide you through the setup to make sure that the camera is on. You're going to have to show them the room, the door, and basically that it's a secure place for you to take a test and that people are not talking to you. You also have to show them your student ID or some kind of identification, or if you don't have a type of identification, you have to have a parent or guardian come on camera and say that they know who you are and identify you. Okay? And I just said all that right here. So what you see on screen here, you can go through and read this to make sure that you're good to go. And then the exam starts. When you're done with the exam, you can then close out. If you don't finish the exam within the time frame, just get as far as you can. This is a pretest. And so again, the score doesn't count against your grade, but participation does. So you must take the pretest so we have a data point to start from on what we need to focus on for the rest of the year to get you what you need skills-wise. Now, I'm going to go back into the folder and talk about the other project for the week. Intention is something that we develop. So you have a goal of what you're trying to accomplish when you make a song, a game, a film. And we wanted to express that. So what we're going to do is we're going to study people who are really good at that. And what I want you to do is click on copy and paste success blog post into your blog. So remember, I always write down the verbs that I want you to do. So you're going to copy and paste what's at this link. So when I click on it, the page doesn't load properly here. That's fine. I can click here or here, and it will take me over to the blog. Now, you're going to copy and paste all of this content into your blog. So let me go to EduBlogs and sign in. And so I click log in because you should have an account already. If you didn't have an account or don't have one, you can sign up and use your school district email address, because if you forget your password, I can't help you with that. You're going to have to do the password recovery on your own. Just a reminder of that. Keep track of it. And I already have my information. I'm going to log in. And EduBlogs is free, it's only educational, and it uses WordPress. And we are doing that to show that we have a portfolio for our work. So once I'm in my blog, I'm going to click, I have 2 different blogs. I'm just switching over to my school one. And I'm going to click on, I can click here and add new. That's what I want to do. and a post has a title and then the body for the content. That could be embedded media and text. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy and paste from this blog post everything on here, and I'm just clicking and holding with my mouse and dragging down, and I just need to this point right here. So I copy that. I just did Command C. It's Control C on the PC or a Chromebook, and I'll go back over to my blog post. I click here and I do Command V as in Victor to paste in all that stuff. And now think of this as a worksheet. I'm going to read the directions in here and I'm just going to follow them. All right. So recipe for success, person's name goes here. So this is at the top, but that's this part right here. You don't know that yet, but you're about to find out. So let's start reading the directions. In this, this is a case study in success. What is success? How do you define it? Who has been successful from your perspective? I want you, and this is important, to define success for yourself and find an example of this success in the people around you. So you define what success is and find people who are successful by your definition. You can read the rest of this and that will explain more about what we're doing. Once you're done with the instructions, you can delete them. And so I'm going to leave these instructions here because this gives you an overview of the whole project. And I'm going to, as I go down here, write a person's name in the title of this blog post. Example. And I have an example for each one of the components of this project. So this right here goes here. Recipe for success, and then the person's name here. Okay? And now that I'm done with that, I'll delete that. Copy and paste the following. We already did that because that was the instructions to copy and paste the whole blog post in here. Place a picture at the top of the blog post and cite the source. So I'll delete that because I just read it. And how do you put a picture in your blog? Well, let's do that. I'm going to delete this. And let's say, since I'm doing this blog post on Bill Gates, I'm going to go find a picture of Bill Gates. Now, I happen to go to Wikipedia where I found this image, and this works. I'm going to right-click on the image, and I'm going to copy image address. That's important. And I come back here, and I want to put the picture at the top. I'll just go like this. And I'm going to put the cursor right here, and I'm going to click Add Media from URL, and I paste Command V as in Victor right there, and you can see the image, and now I have to write the caption in here. So what I do is I go back here, I get the address, I'm copying that, and I need to give information about this image and where it came from so that I am declaring where it came from. Everything on your blog is assumed to be yours, but if it's not yours, you have to declare it as somebody else's. So for instance, image from, and I go like this, here, on 9/28/2020. So I need to say where the image came from and the date that I got it from. Now this will, obviously say Wikipedia. I also should have the name of the picture, but I don't have that. So I'm going to just insert into post. And this caption underneath here will let people know that it is not my image. It is from here, and that's an important declaration for you to make. Okay? Now let's keep going with our instructions. I'm going to delete this empty space. And birth date. So I need the birth date. So let's, I'll just put that there because that's his. You would put your person's birth date there. And now personal success definition. I'm going to leave this here. In fact, all the rest of the headings leave in the blog. What I want you to do is to then write out what your definition is. I'm going to take the example out because that's my definition. State why they are successful with your definition. Okay. And what I do is, here's what you could write, but this is my example, so I'll put that there. And then I go on to the next thing. Skills for success. Describe what skills they needed to master to become successful. All right, I just read that, so I'll delete it. Describe or list and describe at least 3. Example, I'll take that out because I have Bill Gates. He needed to be a computer programmer, a smart businessman, and a poker player. And I read about how he used negotiation skills to get IBM to license DOS, which was an operating system. And he convinced IBM that they needed it and they needed to pay him for every license. And that basically built his fortune and Microsoft. Legendary moment in a boardroom where he played poker. They didn't call his bluff because they didn't have DOS. They didn't have an operating system, but he still made an incredible deal because he was very convincing. That's why I put poker player in there. And then there's some more information about what I just said. So information about how they did what they did. Dropped out of Harvard so they could start Microsoft. So how did they use their skills? I was just kind of talking about so the skills that he had, poker playing, I just explained how he used them. And so you could read through here and see that example. You don't have to put a picture here, but it's one of those things that if you want to, you already saw how to embed. And I would simply, so the image came from this page. If I went back over here, I would see right there, and I right-clicked on this, and I copied the image address, and I put that in my blog post right there. Now, what's cool is I'm going to delete this, and I'm not going to finish, well, here, oops. I'm going to delete this. Try not to delete too much. And if I just hit return here, I'm going to add the media. I go like this, and let's pretend I put the citation back in here. But what I can do is I can go right, left, center. You can do some of this stuff. So if I go right, I go like this, the image is going to be over here on the right. That's kind of fun. So you can, and if you want to change it, you can go back in here and say, oh no, I want it in the center or the left. Okay. I can also, when I click on the image, you can see the shorthand here, which is kind of fun. Or just get rid of the image altogether. I'm going to leave it there for now because it looks nice. Challenges overcome. So what challenges did this person have to overcome to be successful? And all creative people have challenges. Not enough money, not enough time, their skill level's not high enough to achieve what they want to, so they have to work at that. Overcoming challenges is the number one thing that you can do to become stronger, to build your confidence, and to become more capable. Problem solving is a blessing. And the more problems you solve, the better you get at it, the more confident you get at it. So I want you to explore how the person did that. And then significant work. And there's even a typo here. I'll correct that. What have they done? I could put in Bill Gates that they made Windows with Microsoft. But I decided to put in what he's doing with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation because one of my rules for success is a person giving back to the world. And I really love that they do that. And so I have an image here from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And that's why I put that there. Then I want you to cite 3 resources that you got your information from. And you just put the links there. That's fine for this project. And cite at least one in the body of your text. What does that mean? That means up here, you can see I have links to various places. And I just made them into links. You might say to yourself, how do I make links? Well, if I highlight this word right here, this little icon, if you don't see this bottom row, you just click here. You can toggle it back and forth. But you click here on the chain link icon, and then you paste in the URL or the web address, and then you click here, and it makes that into a link. And you can do that with any word on the page. And these tools are kind of cool, so you can change the formatting of different text on the screen as well. All right, when you're done, make sure you hit the publish button. When you hit publish, it saves it and it publishes it. And if you want to see what it looks like, click preview changes and it will open a new tab and show you what the public sees of your blog. And I have a bunch of samples I put in here, so you see a bunch of stuff over there. But you can see what it looks like. Oh, I forgot the instructions in here. I got to delete those. So I'll go back in and do that. So I'm going to close this tab and I'll go up here and I'm done with these instructions. Always take the instructions out because it looks bad if you have those in there. And I'll see if I left any other instructions. Oops, I left that there. Okay. And that looks good. See how it says update? Update is what it says after you do the first publish. Then forevermore, it'll just be update. You must publish to save the document, to save your blog post. You must hit update to save it as well. If you leave the screen or close the tab without saving or publishing or updating, it goes bye-bye. Now, there is one saving grace. If you go to posts and you look under drafts, you will see if there was something that, if the computer, the tab got closed out or something, you can look there and see, you can recover. So just look up in this corner if you need to find something that's missing. Wow. Okay, that was a lot of stuff. But you now have a nice overview of both precision exams and how to be prepared for that, and how to do a study of successful people. And right here is that example of the finished one that I did. If you need to look at that to review it. By the way, that's what I do when I'm like, what is it supposed to look like when we're done? This is just what I just went through. So you can see that link is in our week 4 folder down at the bottom, so you can examine that. I also have some other stuff. If I have stuff at the bottom of the folder, it's usually fun. Like this is Satchel's film. Go check it out. It's really cool. I have some other things in other folders depending on which class. But that's just usually fun stuff for you to take a look at. It's only 59 seconds. Pretty cool. All right. Have a great week.